Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm really excited today to have my buddy Eric Irvine on the call with me. Hi, Eric.
What's up, Tracy? How are you?
Good, good. So grateful to have you on Keeping It 100. You are definitely one of those folks that keeps it 100. I love that about you. We get to have very real conversations when we get to hang out. So I know it'd be super fun to have you. You and I also are both capital raisers. So that's exciting to have. I don't know that I've had another capital raiser on my show in a long time. So I love that because that's a super fun gig. You raise capital, however, for micro-family opportunities, correct?
I do. Yes.
Let's just dive in. I would love for you to share with the audience what the heck is a micro-family?
Good question, and I get it often. So microfamily is small multifamily, essentially. But my partners and I are going after underutilized assets that may not have been used as a multifamily in the past and transforming that into small multifamily or microfamily. So, for example, we look for old churches, libraries, schoolhouses, firehouses, things that have some character to them that, there's not just a box with 10 apartments in it. We want kind of a unique experience. And we're primarily based on the East Coast or in New England. So there's a lot of older buildings there, the mills, and like I said, the firehouses, things like that. So they have that New England character to it. And then we will come in and provide just a modern touch, all while addressing, the lack of housing that is out there. So we're not coming in and doing luxury flips and making these amazing penthouses. We want to make sure that things are affordable for people, but, offering them a kind of a cool place to stay.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. About so many things that I love about you and your partners. I've been to, it's in Maine, right? The church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I imagine you have that on your social media, right? Some of the church footage.
Some
You're like, oh, I should have more.
It's almost to the finish line. And so I'll be going out there in the next month or so to give an update and really show the progress. Yeah.
Good. So people watching this, definitely we'll tell you how to get a hold of Eric on social media, but definitely check that out. Really amazing. I got to walk that property about, I guess it's almost a year. Was that maybe 9-10 months ago?
Yeah, about 10 months, I think.
Yeah. And really, really neat. Like you said, you're taking these buildings that have character, and I love that. And you're just turning them into these beautiful spaces for people, not so luxury that you can't afford them. You're focused on affordable housing. That's something, again, I really love about you and your partners. We're all aligned, on that, in that area. And so, some of the things we love to talk about on the Keeping It 100 podcast is just diving into the realness of life. And one of the things when we're talking about real estate and I'm talking to entrepreneurs, I really love to know is what drove you to kind of break away from the traditional 9 to 5, right? We're in this world where we are not playing it safe. We are faced with challenges all the time. Yeah. And so what sparked your decision to really take the leap into entrepreneurship? And kind of what's that story behind that shift?
Yeah, it's a good question. I really didn't think I would ever be an entrepreneur and be out there and doing things on my own or with a small group. But I was working, in corporate America. I was living in San Francisco. I was getting on a tech bus every single day and commuting about an hour south to a very large organization. And at the time I thought it was amazing. I thought it was the best job, the pay, the benefits, the notoriety, everything that went with it. Yeah. Couldn't have been happier. And then got laid off. And so I had purchased my first property about a week prior, had just closed on it.
Oh my gosh.
And then I got called in and said, we're doing a round of layoffs and you're a part of it. And I just thought, man, I was not expecting that at all. And I think it just it made it so apparent how not in control I was, that just, there was somebody in some office that was looking at a budget and said, this group of people can go, they're expendable,
right.
without knowing that, I had, bills and a house and,
All the things.
and had long-term plans to be there. And so I just took a long, hard look at what I was doing and realized that I really wanted to be in control. So if I'm not making money, it's because I'm not doing the work. I have nobody to blame but myself. And I took that on and went to LA and where I'm from originally, and started a business down there with some friends of mine, and built it up for a few years, and then ended up getting out of that when I started getting into real estate.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting story that I think a lot of people can relate to, because I think a lot of folks that get into entrepreneurship, they don't plan on it. It happens as a result of a necessity. And you bring up such a good point. Like, if you're not making money as an entrepreneur, that's on you.
Yeah. And
at the same time, if you're working a traditional W-2, you have no control over what that looks like at all. And so, no. And even if I was an educator for 25 years, and I worked in a district that at one point laid everybody off. They laid off 2,000 people.
Wow.
Right. And so even if you have a unionized job, you're just not protected. So, okay. So you're going, all right, here I am, and you're getting going. We all know this is a hard road. There's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of, I joke about, it's not all highlight reels, right? It's really easy to look at people on social media and go, wow, they're crushing it. Their days are amazing. I mean, you could look at some of my social media. If you don't watch my podcast, you might look at it and go, oh my God, she's surfing in Costa Rica all the time. No, I'm not. I wish I was.
I'm pretty sure you're only walking outside or surfing. That's what you
right. Because that's all exactly. I'm fishing, surfing, golfing, or hanging outside. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about this kind of this mindset, and some of the struggles. I think one of the things you brought up that really goes to mindset is, if you can't pay the bills this month, that's Eric's fault. It's nobody else's fault. It doesn't matter if a bad deal went down or a deal fell through. It is on you. There's nobody you can blame.
Yeah.
How do you work through some of those challenges and struggles? Do you have any strategies or tips that you can share with people that are maybe, they're getting going and they're hitting those walls and going, oh my gosh, it's because it's easy to want to give up. That first month where you're like, how am I paying my bills?
Yeah.
Because guys, when I say first, it's because it's not, it happens.
Yeah. Well, one, I would say it's so important just to surround yourself with other people who are doing something similar, be it right behind you or a few steps ahead of you. Because when I first got in, so I right before I got laid off, purchased that home. It was doing great. It's a rental property. And I just thought, oh, I want to do this 100 more times, but did it all conventionally. Obviously can't afford to do 100 homes conventionally.
Right.
And so needed to figure something else out, but I didn't know which way to go, what to do. I had no idea where to start.
Okay.
So it was so important for me just to find people who were doing something. Yeah. And it didn't matter if it was something that I wanted to be involved in. I just needed to learn the ropes of that thing.
Yeah.
And so I started wholesaling, and I joined up with a few guys, and one of them who you know very well, Jamie.
Oh yeah.
And I just said, I want to be part of the team. I want to, understand what you're doing. Tell me what to do, and I will go out and do it. Yeah. And so started taking action, and it was great some days, horrible other days. But what I found so important was just being able to know that I always knew there was somebody that was going to pick up the phone when I called them to say, hey, how do I get out of this sticky situation? How do I approach this seller? How do I approach this agent? Whatever the situation was, I needed somebody on the other end of the phone to, to talk to. And that was so helpful. If I had tried to do it on my own, I'd probably, would be back in a corporate job somewhere.
Oh, yeah. That's why I asked this, because it's so true. I think we all feel the same way. Now, I assume you met Jamie in Sub 2, is that right?
Yeah.
And we met in Owners Club, which is a little subset of Sub 2. Maybe we even met in Sub 2 before Owners Club. But like you said, I think it's so about that community and having people, a few steps in front and a few steps back and right along the side, because you're really able to support people. And as soon as I'm a couple steps ahead, I'm always looking to see who's behind me that's actually doing the work. And I'm like, come on, let's go. I got you. And Jamie's a few steps ahead and you're like, keep on pulling, man, because now I got a couple people behind me.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'll never pretend that I know everything, because I certainly don't.
Right. No way.
But I will gladly share what I have learned, like the successes, the failures, whatever it is, with somebody who's just getting started or, just needs some tips for whatever they're doing. And then I expect that same thing from you, right? Like I'm going to call you because you've done something that I haven't done, and I want to, learn from your experiences. So I, find the same success and hopefully avoid some of the failures that you had.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely helpful when I think one of the things you said is people taking action. Super important. If you're watching this and you're just getting into real estate, one of the most important things I think is when you're kind of leaning into people for some support, you need to have done the work, some work. Mm-hmm. You maybe don't know what's next, but you need to be able to show up and say, hey, Tracy, I need your support on co-living. Or, hey, Eric, I want to get some support on raising capital. I've done X, Y, and Z. I watched these podcasts. I did this thing, right?
I made these calls. I got my teeth kicked in on these certain occasions. This is why I did what I did. This is why somebody said what they said. Mm-hmm. Just so there's a bit of a track record. So you're not going to somebody be like, hey, teach me about, like, Tracy, teach me about co-living. And you're like, okay, well, what have you done? I'm like, nothing, but I want to do it. Can you do it for me? It's like, no, kick rocks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I probably get 10 of those DMs a day. And, what I've done, and my partner, Dustin, we decided to go, we're going to do office hours. So every week we do a free office hours open to anybody. And that's the kind of the redirection is, if you've done nothing, here's what I recommend you do. And here's a place you can come and meet me for free, because no, I'm not gonna, you go do some work and then we'll talk. And so that I always recommend to people, put in the work, take some action so that when you do reach out for help, one of your partners, Justin Tumanowski, he was one of the first people that I met when I joined Sub 2. And as you know, he's super generous, like over generous, and I didn't know how smart he was. I didn't know how successful he was at that time. I probably had no concept of how much time he dedicated to work every week and to his learning. But the one thing he's always said is, I knew, like, you showed up and had done the work. Yeah. Right. Because I was like, doughy eyed. And I was like, oh, can you talk again today? Or I'm like sending a voice memo. And now I understand, because I've grown and I have a business that's, I'm putting in the hours and doing the thing.
Right.
And it is hard to find the time for the voice memos and to get on a call with somebody. So I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, wow, you were so generous with your time. But he says, yeah, I didn't mind being generous with my time because you did the work. And if I gave you homework, you came back with the homework done.
That's so funny. I mean, I had the same experience with him when I first, when we first met. I saw him on a Zoom and I was just like, oh, okay, seems like a guy I would want to chat with. And so I sent him a message, and within 5 minutes he had gotten back to me, and he's like, yeah, I'm in the car or doing something. Give me a shout. And hopped on a phone call with him and talked for, 20 minutes, wanted to be respectful of time. And then it just grew from there, the friendship and the partnership. And now we're, doing lots of stuff together. So it's, it's right place, right time. Had it happen 6 months later, maybe that conversation doesn't happen. So it worked out well. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. It's a lot. I mean, it's all about connecting, communicating, building relationships, and especially your capital raiser. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that piece and the importance of building those relationships, because it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of conversations. Would you share a little bit about that with folks? I know it's a little off topic, but I think it's really relatable at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think it's like you said, it takes relationships. It's not, I don't want to say it's not as easy as, buying a house or finding a deal, because can be challenging as well, but it's not as transactional, right? So if you're looking for a house and, you want to wholesale something, or I don't know, insert strategy here. A lot of those times there's going to be a motivated, party on the other end who has a reason to sell. They need the money, like somebody died, like whatever it may be. So that seems like an easier conversation for me.
Yeah.
Instead of going and asking somebody for money. So it takes a ton of time to build up that relationship with somebody, especially if it's just a cold call, right? So I spend time every day reaching out to people. I've gathered their information from a source that shows that they have lent money before on real estate transactions, and then I'll reach out to them, and usually they won't pick up. And so it's just this consistent, like, hey, I promise I'm not trying to sell you anything. I don't want to take advantage of you.
No.
I see that you've done this in the past.
Yeah.
I would love to know more about what you look for, where you look for, what type of money you have, like what's your motivation behind lending.
Right.
And if there's a way to work with that person, I will gladly, send them the deals that we're working on, show them our underwriting, everything that, like, just the background of me and our team, just to hopefully give them some assurance that I'm not some, scammer.
Right. Yeah. That credibility is huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it takes time. It's not an easy thing, but it picks up over time, right? It's like, so I've been doing this for, I don't know, a year and a half or so. I've been like very committed to raising money, and then, still do some lending. But one of the biggest successes I had was, for that church project.
Yeah.
And so
tell us about that.
Well, I think it messed me up a bit because there was success early on, and I was just like, like, I'm the best.
Like, I'm so good.
So good. And then you fail a lot after that. But so we had started looking at this project. I was on the East Coast with Justin, and we had been in communication before that, like doing a ton of research on the project, on the town, on the building itself, the economics of the place, if there were other, rentals in the area. Like, we did a comprehensive report on this thing, and it took us like a month to put it all together, to rehearse, to do all the things. And then we decided to finally pull the trigger. This was all before we had it under contract. And then,
I didn't know that part of the story. That's crazy.
I
love it. I love it.
This was all like, hey, it could happen.
Yeah.
So let's be ready if it does happen.
So key. Like, do it before you need it.
Absolutely.
Totally my motto.
Yeah. So we get it all together, and then we're sitting at this lake house together, having a nice couple of days. And then it was, okay, we're pulling the trigger. We're doing it. And then we looked, we're like, okay, well, we need to raise almost $1 million in, 30 days.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shoot.
That's a push. Right.
Yeah. And so immediately started reaching out to people, blasted an email, like cold emails.
Yeah.
Got probably, with like a little one pager just about what we were doing. Got about 20 people that responded. I set up calls. My first call, I walk through it with, with someone and give them the hour-long presentation, answer every single question they have, talk about the returns, the capital investment, the town, like all this stuff. And at the end, it was like, all right, well, let me tell you where I'm at. I was like, okay, well, this is a, not interested, which I'm totally expecting.
Right.
And then it was, okay, we'd like to do the entire thing. I know you're looking for multiple partners, but we'd like to do everything. And I was like,
wait, what?
Yeah, really? Okay.
Right. So, and it's like when that happens, we've had that happen before, Dustin and I, and it's really hard to not be like, wait, what? You're like, you got to stay composed.
Oh, trying to play it cool. Like, well, I don't know if we're open to that.
Exactly. Right.
I kind of wanted to do a lot more work to find more people to get involved.
You wanted to manage a lot more partners. So
yeah.
Think about this.
Yeah. And you seem like a horrible person.
Totally.
It was like it was such a good fit. So right then I was like, oh, I'm batting. Yeah. Totally. Like I'm perfect. And then you try to do the same thing a month later and then it's crickets, right?
100%.
And so it's balancing that, it's keeping your highs low and your lows high. And it's like, no, okay, I had success on this first one. And a lot of it was because of all the work that we did up front, those late nights, the town meetings, like all the things that we had to do in order to make that happen.
Yes.
Granted us the ability to have that success. And then maybe I didn't put that effort in on a following project and I didn't have the success. So I don't know. It was a great lesson to me in that, I need to be so over prepared on any endeavor that I'm going into to ensure that there is success early on.
It's such a great point. I'll share with you, Dustin and I had the exact same experience where first couple projects, we'd worked on other projects, but the first couple projects that we raised capital for our new joint business that we'd created, we raised about 400,000 on each project in an hour, right? And we were like, yeah, we're so good. And that was 2 projects back to back. Third project, same thing, right? I can easily admit to the fact that we did not do the same preparation, right? The first one, like you said, late nights, practicing, rehearsing, like getting super clear, making sure you've got all the numbers crystal clear. Second project, didn't do as much, but they were close enough together that that momentum was still there. Little bit of gap. Third project, didn't do that. Like we just weren't on our game. No, it was like pulling teeth. I mean, wow. Like we still over-raised on that project, but man, it was really, really hard. And we looked at each other, we're like, we're not as good as we thought we were.
Well, maybe you are as good as you thought you were, but you just were sandbagging it. You got a little cocky there.
Yes, we've come full circle to realize that we are really good at what we do. Our projects are super solid and we're super passionate. We just didn't prepare ourselves well enough, right? And you have to stay on your game, which is again part of why it is exhausting. I think people listening that maybe are looking at going into capital raising, I love it because I love to talk to people. I love to share with people. And if you're raising for a project you believe in, it's really awesome because you're not only helping the investor get a great return, but you're helping people. Like we're both in the same boat. We're building affordable housing. How can you not love that, right? But it is a lot of time. I'm on calls late at night because it's not about me and my schedule. If somebody says I've got a couple 100,000, I'd love to put in your project and I'm free right now and it's 10 o'clock at night, I'm going to say, okay, great. Let's hop on a call. What are you going to do?
This is when I always do my investor calls.
Of course. I love 10 o'clock at night. It's the time. or 6 a.m. or whatever, it doesn't matter.
I think I got an email from you this morning at like 3:30.
Oh, that's from my assistant. Yeah, that's not me.
Oh, okay. I was like,
isn't that awesome?
God.
Yeah, no, I'm about I'm like a 5 a.m. person.
Okay.
And I'm going to go down this road really quick because this is a cool little side note. I think you hear a lot of times people, they're into their calendars, which I am. I'm into my morning routine, but I feel like there's always people like almost like this, like showing off, like, oh, I get up at 2:30, and I like do my thing. And I think that's cool for a lot of people. Like if you're a 3 a.m. person and waking up at 3 like feels really good to you, go for it. And I tried that because I felt this pressure. Like I wasn't a good entrepreneur. I wasn't going to be successful if I didn't get up at 3 a.m. I don't get up at 3 a.m. because I hate getting up at 3 a.m. Like I am not a 3 a.m. person. I'm a night owl. I'd actually would rather be on a call and email at 10 than at 3:30. And I had to let go of that mindset of like, hey, Tracy, 3:30 might work for a lot of people. And maybe it is the magical hour or all the things. But for you, it's definitely not a magical hour. For you, it's like a painful hour and you don't love it. But if you get up at 5, that feels okay. You can still stay up to 10 o'clock, which is like a good time for you. And you're still successful and you don't judge yourself that you're not a 3 a.m. person.
Yeah. I mean, I would love if I could wake up at 3 and perform the whole day,
Yeah.
that'd be fantastic. But similar to you, like, I don't enjoy it. And on the, the random occasion that it does happen, I pop up and I can't go back to sleep. It's great because, by 8 or 9 o'clock, there's so much done. But then, at 2 p.m., I'm having a cup of coffee because like I want to punch myself in the face.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. If I wake up at 3, it's because I can't sleep. And the cat was like smacking me upside the head, or I wake up and there's like all the things going on in the business and you can't go back to sleep. It's not a good time. No. And I'm having a coffee at 2 p.m. and I'm feeling sluggish. And so, I think a lot of it is like that mindset. And that's kind of what I wanted to ask you a little bit about next is, that mindset shift that I think we all have to make in becoming an entrepreneur. And I think it's different for everybody. Like I was saying, for me, I kept like pegging myself in this, what's wrong with you? Like, why can't you get up early? And everybody gets up early and that's the only way people are successful. And it took a lot. I've done a lot of personal growth and mindset shifting in real estate, which I think is ironic. Like I never would have thought as a real estate investor, I would be so deeply involved in my own personal growth and development. But I recognize that the only way you can become a successful entrepreneur is to truly deal with the things inside of us that cause us to make decisions that maybe are not wise, or keep us from doing the thing and from showing up. We tend to be our worst enemies. So what can you suggest? What are some things that have worked really well for you, or maybe even just pivotal things, that mindset shifts that you did that were like,
I wake up at 3 a.m. and I take an ice bath.
And then I go back. Oh, I love that.
I think the most important thing for me has been to like really get clear on where I've been in the past, how I felt in certain situations, and not wanting to get back there. And what do I need to do in order to avoid that lifestyle, that feeling, like whatever the situation was, what do I need to do today in order to remove myself or to ensure that that doesn't happen again in the future? And taking it all as, positive learning lessons and, using it as a guide. but then becoming very, very clear on where I want to end up in, 6 months, 6 years, when I'm 80, but just having like a guiding principle or like an end goal, and then just staying true to that, and knowing that I'm going to screw up some days. It's like, I'm not so regimented that I'm going to be up at 5 every single day and then do a meditation for 2 hours and then do this for an hour. And then, like, I'm pretty good, but treat yourself a little bit sometimes. And
I agree. I love that.
But yeah, it's more just having the clear vision of where I want to be in a few years. And making sure that the action I'm taking today is getting me closer to that goal and not further away from it.
That's a perfect way to, I think, sandwich that. It's true. Is my actions today, are they driving me closer to my goal or bringing me further? I forget what book where I read this, but the author said, always be thinking about how are you helping your future self. Mm-hmm. And I love thinking of it that way. I often will think of that, especially, like, I love sweets. I don't eat them, but I dream of them. I think of them all day because I love them so much. Like, I love ice cream and chocolate, and oh my gosh, I don't eat it, but I literally dream about it. Mm-hmm. But I have that stuff in the house because I have a teenager, right? And so when often too, it's like that late afternoon, I just want a snack, and I'll stand at the cupboard and I'm like, is this going to help the future, Tracy? And some days it might. Some days it might totally help me.
Well, that's the thing. You have to,
and that's okay.
I think you just need to be aware of the decision, right?
Yeah.
And saying, like, okay, I don't want to watch, or is watching a movie tonight going to help me buy this house or start this company or whatever it is? Yeah. It's like, no, it's probably not. But is that what you need right now in order to relax or to enjoy time with your family or whatever it is? Or the hamburger or the beer or the, like, whatever it is. Like, but as long as you are aware enough to make the decision and be like, no, it's not going to help me, but I'm okay with that because it's going to, fill my stomach or improve my,
sometimes just help me relax. Right. Yeah. I love what you said about the flexibility too, and just giving yourself a break, kind of. And I really love that. I think I'm similar to you. I love, I meditate and I have a journal, gratitude journal, and I do my things, and I don't do it all the time. Like, there's just some days that I don't do it. And kind of like that, getting up at 3 a.m. for a long time, I would beat myself up about it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, why would you do that to yourself? You're almost negating the days that you do it. You're almost negating those because you just spent more time beating yourself up and making yourself feel bad about the fact that you only did it 5 days instead of 7 or 2 instead of 5. Like, be grateful. So now I've changed the script. When I am writing my gratitude journal or I am meditating, I think about that. I'm like, I am grateful that I'm actually doing this today. Like, good for you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you can also, be grateful for yesterday. You didn't do it because
I needed to sleep in a few minutes, or I wanted to
sleep, or went surfing, or you were eating ice cream, like whatever it is. Like,
maybe I need
ice cream opportunity to.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Yeah, it's great. I love that. I think that's great advice for people because, there's so many things that you need to do to keep your business moving forward. And part of it, yes, is your mindset, and you need to believe in yourself and you need to show up for yourself. But it's also easy to just put too much on your plate, and then it becomes a challenge. There's enough challenges in real estate that you don't need to put them on yourself. That's my thought, is like, you do need to hold yourself accountable.
But you can get so bogged down with, routines and apps and, I don't know, productivity things that you like, that becomes a job in itself instead of actually doing the thing that you need to do.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. And you've said it a couple of times now, and I just want to reiterate it really is about showing up and taking action, whatever realm of real estate you're in, or whatever part of life you're in, or whatever. You could have a W-2. It doesn't matter. If you have a goal and a vision, every day you just need to be making strides towards that instead of away from that. And I think one of the biggest things that have been really helpful for me, and you'd mentioned this, is having a vision. Whether it's what's my goal for, it could be this week, it could be this month, it could be 6 months, 6 years. I like to have a broad goal, of several year, and then I kind of reverse engineer to how do I get there. But I don't think it matters. Just have a goal, and every day just take a little step toward it. Now if you're off on your own and this is your only income and you need to make money, well, by all means, by gosh, take bigger than a little step. Like, take giant steps every day.
Yeah.
But make sure they're moving you forward and not backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Well, let me ask you, as we wrap this up, as we know, my podcast is called Keeping It 100. And I came up with that because, to me, I feel like it's really important to, be real about the whole journey of life, of entrepreneurship, of business ownership, not just the wins, but, the losses and the moments where we just didn't know how to get through it. And like you mentioned, you have people, and you need people to be able to lean into when you don't know how to move to the next step. I think it's really all, about the truth over the image, and just having the courage to show up regardless of whether that's 3 a.m. or 9 a.m. because I slept in. So how about for you? What does keeping it 100 mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board with that. Like,
that's not an answer. No, you can't steal my answer.
Yeah, likewise. No, I do really, that resonates with me, because a lot of what you see is just the successes out there. And, you and I have talked about this before, where you have to just be, or it's so much more impactful if you're honest about what you're doing or not doing. And I would rather hear about somebody's failures more than only what they've done right.
Yeah.
I think it helps people a lot more. And so that's why I love what you said, and just like the whole premise of the podcast. It's like, just, being much more honest, instead of, hey, I only win. I only do
crush it.
$1 million deals and nothing else. And I print money. It's like, that's fantastic. But what did it take for you to get there? Because I know what it's taken me to get to where I am right now. And that's, the emotional toll, relationships, like, severe swings and ups and downs.
Yeah.
And, I don't talk about it with too many people, but when I do, I'm extremely honest about, like, the road that I've taken to get here, which is why, I think I resonate with people, because I'm extremely honest with them. And that's what I look for in our relationship and the relationships that I have with others. It's like, who are you as a person, and, like, what have you dealt with, and where do you want to go? And, take me along the journey with you.
Yeah. Let's support each other.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you came on today. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Oh my gosh. So before we wrap it up, how can people find you? What projects are you working on? We know that you raise capital. Guys, I've been to the church. The work that you guys did there is stunning. I've seen some photos since then.
Yeah.
Your projects are absolutely stellar. If you're looking to invest some capital in a really unique project that provides affordable housing, I really recommend people look you guys up and see what you're doing. What is your current project? Tell us super quick. What's your current project that you're raising capital for?
Yeah, current project is an old motel. So we just purchased a motel. I think we closed on it about a month ago.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, thank you. And we are transforming it into a another micro family. So still working out the numbers on the unit count, but it'll probably be like the, 10-ish units.
Love that.
Super close. It's in Southern New Hampshire, super close to my partners. So just like the boots on the ground aspect is fantastic. Yeah. And so we're raising for that right now. And then always on the hunt for other projects that are, slightly unique. We've had our eyes on some mills recently, but
so fun.
Yeah.
But how cool to take an old motel that's probably got a lot of character, especially it's there in New Hampshire, and bring it back to life and house people, right? Because it's just sitting there. I mean, how many times do we drive down the road and you see these broken down motels? They're sitting vacant, and across the street's a homeless camp. You're like, why is somebody not doing something with that motel? And you guys are.
Yeah, and that's exactly what this was. Just vacant for God knows how long.
Yeah.
But nothing was happening there, and we have a grand vision for it. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Yeah. So how do people find you? They go social media and DM you? What's the best way for people to find you?
That's probably the best. Just Instagram DM. It's eric.irv. So ERIC. Yeah. ERIC.IRV.
Perfect.
And answer all those. That's how I communicate with most people. So
yeah, me too. I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Really, really grateful to have you on today. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. And guys, to all of those listening, thank you so much for keeping it 100 with us today. If this conversation moved you, it made you think, or maybe reminded you that you are not alone, do us a favor and share this with somebody that you know really needs to hear it. Remember that no matter where you're starting from, your story truly matters and your journey is really valid. And the hard parts, they're really most often the most powerful pieces. So guys, until next time, just keep showing up for yourself, keep staying real, and most important, keep it 100. Have a great day.